Hello, everybody. This is Francesco Rulli. I'm the CEO of Querlo. I'm also the AI business partner for Forbes Insights. Today, I'm here with Phillip Arkcoll, who is the founder and the CEO of Workalytics. We spoke a few months ago, towards the beginning of the pandemic. Now that we're heading hopefully out of what is COVID-19, if you can share with us a little bit of updates about your work and how artificial intelligence is shaping the future of your space.
Yeah, thank you, Francesco. It's great to be here. Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot has happened over the past year, and we're grateful, I think, to be starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel as vaccinations are being spread out. And the work that we do has really evolved over the past year. We analyze data from common productivity tools, so how teams are working in tools like Microsoft Office and Google Workspace and Slack and Teams to understand how they can effectively get things done as teams, as groups in organizations. And we've been doing a lot of work over the past year to help organizations first understand the impact of the sudden move to remote at the beginning of the pandemic. And then as people got used to that, got used to working remotely, got used to being on Zoom every day on all these calls, tracking how that was trending over time, how being in this sort of new environment and these new ways of working was impacting people's morale. And we started looking into things like risk of burnout, people talking about Zoom fatigue and challenges being remote and feeling maybe more disconnected, but also enjoying the additional freedom and flexibility and balancing that out. And we've used a lot of data and AI to understand the different aspects of that and the outcomes of those dynamics in teams. And that's in the last few months, as people are slowly starting to think about going back to work, what's coming next, as more and more of us are vaccinated and we're able to come back into the office. What have we learned over the past year in this kind of forced experiment, this grand forced experiment, and how can we apply that in the future to improve people's experience at work by giving them more flexibility and allowing people to design their own work days and their own time while still maintaining culture and cohesion in companies. And we're working with a lot of companies today to help them figure out how to make hybrid ways of working work well for both the organization and for employees. How can you create productive hybrid organizations? And I think machine learning, artificial intelligence is a key part of that. We look at business outcomes, things like engagement surveys, whether people are feeling motivated, whether they're feeling burnt out. We look at things like attrition. And there's a lot of people who are worried about an attrition tsunami that may happen as people go back to work. Right now, all these ways of working have changed. You can now work for a much broader range of potential companies because companies are hiring more people remote. And so we're doing a lot of work using artificial intelligence to look at what is impacting employee experience, what might cause people to burn out, what might cause people to think about moving to a different position. How can you improve your work experience, improve your environment to make people feel motivated, like they can get things done, provide them that flexibility, while at the same time maintaining culture and cohesion in your organizations. And we're finding a lot of interesting insights around hybrid work and the trade-offs between the days that you stay at home and the days that you come into the office, and when is the right time to come in and when is the right time to stay at home. And for instance, in data that we've looked at recently, we found that people who stay home most of the time, they're able to focus more and get into deeper work because there's there are fewer distractions. There's you're being pulled into less other things, less collaboration. So you can do more deep individual focused work. But if you stay home alone for too long, we start to see people's networks decline. They become a little bit more isolated. They have less access to information. They talk to a less wide group of people inside of the organization. And so what we found is people who come in 2 to 3 days a week, somewhere in the middle, they get a bit of both of those benefits. They can maintain their network in the organization and maintain their connections, yet they still have time when they're home to be able to focus and get productive work done, and have that time for really deep thinking outside of collaboration. And machine learning has been really useful in getting to those types of insights and looking at dynamics like that make for successful hybrid teams, successful hybrid organizations. And so we're seeing a lot of interest in the space, a lot of interest in this type of data, and using these tools to be able to better understand how we should be changing process and culture to adapt to this new way of working.
Fantastic. Now, as I mentioned in the past, we started working with the Florence Cathedral Museum, and we created the artificial intelligence on Michelangelo. And it has been an interesting adventure for us, because we gave life to a personage who died over 450 years ago. What are your thoughts about implementing artificial intelligence to maintain this kind of cultural exchange, probably in eternity, almost, bringing these people back or giving them a life for the next 700 years?
Yeah, I think in many ways it's wonderful. It feels like magic, to have that opportunity to be able to communicate with somebody from the past like that, but who's been gone for such a long time, better understand what their life was like, etc. I think that the flip side of that is it has to be done with respect. Like how do you create that persona in a way that is true to what they really were, and get the right data points to be able to do it. But I think if you can, and starting to see good examples of that being done, it really does feel like magic, and I think it's a fantastic tool. And we were talking before about in the future as well, people thinking about doing that with loved ones when they pass on, maintaining some kind of semblance of their personality and those conversations and that information. I think is going to be something that people want to do, and helps maintain that connection to the past. I think it's fantastic if it is done in a respectful way.
Thank you. Now, going back to Workalytics, what's the best way to learn more about your services and reach out to your team?
Yeah, so follow me on LinkedIn. I share a lot of content on what we're finding in organizations as they go remote, what are the best practices to adapt to hybrid and these new ways of working, or visit our website. It's www.workalytics.co, and you can book a demo there where we can take you through a lot of the findings that we've made over the past year, working with a lot of organizations that are making these changes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Philip.
Thanks so much, Francesco. Great chatting.